Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Along with Super Bowl weekend, Sean, of course, every year is the NFL awards, and
well, sure,
and running, from the regular season and running down the list. There's definitely one that I want to talk about because I think it's crazy. Not the guy who won it, but the nature in which he won it. But if there's any that you think are wrong, feel free to. Speak up as I run down the list here. Pepsi Rookie of the Year was Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. I feel like
I had that one right.
Yeah,
that one I would have.
I feel like Joe Burrow probably would have had a say in it had he not suffered the injury. But yeah, Herbert coming in when he did, I think that was the right one. AP Defensive Player of the Year, Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald.
Did you hear that there's reports that initially when the Lions offered, were working out a trade for Stafford, that they wanted Donald in the deal?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was apparently a thing. And I'm like, well, you better hope to give up a first-round pick then.
Right, exactly. My God.
Stafford and a first-round pick for Goff and Aaron Donald. We are getting somewhere. But yeah, apparently that was who they wanted. Wound up with Goff instead.
Yeah, good luck with that. AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, again, Los Angeles quarterback Justin Herbert. AP Offensive Player of the Year, Titans running back Derrick Henry. Hard to argue against him. AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, Washington defensive end Chase Young. I think that's a fair one.
I would say that's pretty good.
Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, Carolina Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. This is the one that, again, not the guy who won it, but the nature in which he won it. The AP Comeback Player of the Year, Washington quarterback Alex Smith.
Which we boldly predicted.
49 out of 50 votes. One vote went to Ben Roethlisberger. Okay.
From the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Shocking. I get it. What
city he lives in.
I get it. Ben's an older guy. He had the wrist injury, the elbow, forearm, whatever the hell it was.
He had some things going wrong.
Had surgery.
Typical football ailments.
I get it. And in a normal year, maybe he should.
Yeah, get a couple votes at least.
Get a couple of votes.
Not when a guy survives near death.
Right. Alex Smith literally almost lost his leg. He literally almost lost his life. And not only does he return to the field, the minute that he was cleared to play and on an active roster.
And was on a roster and throwing passes before a game.
To me, comeback
player of the year.
Then he comes into a game. Comeback player of the year. Becomes a starter. Comeback player of the year. Leads his team to the playoffs. Now, granted, yes, in the worst division in football.
No outside scenario. Let's not talk semantics. He comes in a scenario where he's not mathematically eliminated, gets named the starter, and wins enough games to still not be mathematically eliminated and get in.
And that's in Washington. How bad has Washington been for how many years? One of the worst. I mean, we can talk about teams that are poorly run. That's there's no mystery to teams that are poorly run.
Because we have talked several times about
Washington has been a terribly run organization for countless years.
Still
are. Maybe a little better because you at least have a good head coach and a solid foundation. But leads the Washington football team, a team without a nickname, to the playoffs. And almost
they should call themselves the Washington Alex Smiths.
Now, granted, he didn't play, but they gave the eventual Super Bowl champion their hardest fight. Now, granted, it's a regular season award, but this First off, this award should no longer be AP Comeback Player of the Year award. This should be AS Comeback Player. This should be the Alex Smith award.
The Alex Smith award.
But to the
which, by the way, I didn't point it out earlier, but that like Tampa Bay almost losing to Washington is like there was like a couple really key defensive players that like either were just coming back, or were out for that game, and they got healthy as the playoffs went on. And it became more and more dangerous. So you were right. Getting past Washington was a big step.
Yeah, and that's why
but
I
it's
think.
Not saying,
I'm not saying Washington was a better team,
better than the other three.
But on Wild Card Weekend, there was certainly a case to be made that Washington could have pulled the upset, and they almost did. So, but yeah, they obviously Tampa Bay a better team. But yeah, just the absolutely asinine to vote anybody but Alex Smith this year for that award. Bridgestone.
Somebody should break that guy's leg.
Exactly. Bridgestone Clutch Performance Play of the Year. Hail Mary TD pass from Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins.
No doubt.
Yeah, the Deacon Jones Award. Pittsburgh Steelers pass rusher TJ Watt. Bud Light Celebration of the Year is the Steelers celebrating Chase Claypool touchdown. Without looking at a video, I wouldn't know which one that is. Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? AP Coach of the Year, Cleveland Browns head coach.
The guy that voted for Roethlisberger also voted for that touchdown.
That's probably a pretty good guess. AP Coach of the Year, Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski.
It was Coach of the Year was when we debated, and like I knew the Browns coach was going to be but I just felt like the Browns weren't that far. Like I feel like what the Bills did, I still feel like, in my opinion, could you have given it to an Arians or a Reed? Yes. Could you have given it to a?
I don't think you give it to Reed. Like they were that team.
Well, yeah, but I mean, arguably, if you're going regular season and you're going Coach of the Year,
I always look
Andy
at Coach.
Reid lost one game. I mean, they had two losses, but the second one was like whatever.
I always look at Coach of the Year more. I mean, now
Andy
granted,
Reid's had some.
Yeah, but I mean, if Kansas City would have went undefeated, I think maybe you have a better.
They had one loss
to come off of a Super Bowl. They had one, but you also look at the rest of the league. Cleveland, they've bounced through head coaches, and the talent.
To me, like it was going to be Cleveland. It wasn't going to be Cleveland, and I think I picked McDermott in Buffalo. I thought that was an incredible point, or even LaFleur in Green Bay, because we had some pretty big name sports talk personalities, like the fella at Huddle Up podcast, that thought that the Packers were going to crumble into the ground. And Aaron Rodgers was going to have an awful year, be traded.
He's going to be traded by midseason.
And LaFleur pulled it together. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I just didn't see anybody else in that division doing super well. And I was like, why not ride Aaron Rodgers and hope they put it together? And they did. And I thought they were a well-run team. It was creative. It reminded me a little bit of like early McVay Rams creativity on offense. But you still saw a good mesh and where Aaron Rodgers was allowed to make some calls on the field. I think they kind of worked out their differences, and as long as the two of them are both there next year, and some pieces around them, which it doesn't look like Aaron Jones will be, but they have some other pieces. I think they're going to be fine.
Running backs are running backs. The other one I would have thought should have been considered for it, and maybe based on record, he didn't get is Ron Rivera, for taking Washington from what they were and turning them into a playoff team in one season. Because the Browns have been putting a team together. Rivera comes in, same as Stefanski, because he's first-year head coach.
I would argue the Dolphins made borderline the same turnaround. They just weren't in a division that was crumbling in around them. Unfortunately for them, Buffalo was growing faster, but Miami was right there. Yeah, and I'm not.
Yeah, but the rest of their division crumbling around them.
I guess, but New England was right there. They finished ahead of New England, I think, didn't they? They were at one time. I feel like the end of the season kind of fell apart.
Yeah, they did kind of crumble.
It's a shame they still have no idea who their quarterback is.
Right, and I think that's part is when you kind of juggle around. I mean,
meanwhile, Ryan Fitzpatrick's like, would somebody just hand me the gloves?
Right. But I think Rivera had a strong case as well.
Yeah,
but
I mean, why not? Why not have a case? It's pretty impressive. But Pete Carroll didn't, and that's the real moral of the story. That's the real
beautiful thing.
Glory kind of in the backbone of holding this whole award up is the fact that Pete Carroll is still garbage.
Yes. And if you believe what Russell Wilson talked about on Dan Patrick this morning, and potentially some of the words out of there, is Russell Wilson may not be under center in Seattle next year.
Well, he's so upset if he's not going to get, and I was going to talk about it at some point if it came up, but, I alluded to Tom being the second most sacked quarterback. Russell Wilson is quickly climbing that list.
Yeah.
There's only like 3 or 4 active quarterbacks ahead of him in the top 10, but he's like near the top 10. And what was the number? I had it ready to go. Give me a sec. So the active quarterbacks ahead of him: Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Rivers, no longer active, Alex Smith, Drew Brees, and Matt Ryan, all of which are coming into the last few steps of their career. Now, Tom Brady and Brett Favre. Tom Brady will if he plays next year, will pass Brett Favre. Brett Favre's at 525 sacks in his career. Tom Brady 521. Next closest is Roethlisberger at 516. Could he finish at the top? Maybe, if he comes back. But no one else is going to get those. Next closest is Rodgers at 468. Russell Wilson is currently sitting at 20th all time. He's 32 years old.
Jesus.
And has been sacked 394 times. So he's really only 120-odd sacks behind Brett Favre, who played until he was like 45.
Yeah.
At 32 years old. His per season stat, and the Dan Patrick show, you're right, broke it down in the short amount of time I got to listen to them. And it was literally like, if Russell Wilson plays and the same pace happens, he'll pass Brett Favre before the end of 2 seasons from now.
Not good.
He'll be 34 when he sets the all-time sack mark.
But I think like Dan asked him the question.
And the thing is, he might not be playing. He might be dead if he takes that many sacks.
Let me see if I can find the actual.
It's a real amount of sacks.
But Dan asked him if if I think basically like, will he be in Seattle? And he had said, well, I guess if he's gonna be traded or be part, and he said, I'm not sure if I'm available or not. It's a Seahawks question. So clearly there's a rift in the relationship up there.
Yeah, but that's a real neutral answer.
It is. It certainly is. But like, it's a situation worth monitoring. Do I think he'll be under center? I do.
Yes.
But
he's all they have.
Well, yeah, but I just he's clearly not happy. Or at least frustrated with taking the number of hits that he has.
Maybe the answer is just letting Seattle just accept the fact that they should just be like a shotgun, run and gun, shoot 'em up team instead of pretending you have a running game for 3 quarters and then being like, Russell, go win a game. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's
like
true.
There's a lot of scenarios where it's like run, and it's like Mike Tomlin's offense, like run, pass, and then it's like third down. They know they're throwing, so the odds are.
Let's round out the awards, and then we'll talk about the
hammer. Let's move on to some other sports. That's the last topic I have.
DraftKings breakout daily fantasy player of the year, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Boom.
Fan of the year, Tennessee Titans fan Brandon Galloway.
Okay.
Way
to go, Brandon.
I'd have to look more into that one to figure out what that's about. AP most valuable player, Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And the Walter Payton NFL man of the year, Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. So those are your NFL awards for the year. Feel like they got them pretty much right.
Mostly right. Yeah. I mean, there's some weird ones that I was like, maybe I'd have picked someone else, but I didn't even know that was an award. But yeah, all the big ones I think I hit pretty well.
Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?